Hi there! I've created a free assets for building combat system with a pretty user-friendly interface. You can download it from the official asset store, and I also put effort into creating detailed documentation. I really hope you'll try it out in your minigames or for game jams and share feedback on how it can be improved and refined, because right now I've probably only unlocked about 10% of this package potential. I have tons of ideas for its development, but I really like to know what you need. My ultimate goal is to create a universal tool for all types of games that include complex combat systems. Let me start with a quick overview of what this package is even for. If we look at different combat types and games, there's the kind where everything revolves around visible effects. For example, walk up and hit, or run away and throw a rock. These systems usually have fixed damage per attack and nothing else. There is no distinction between damage types, no crits, dodges, and other. Then there are systems built around combat abilities and effects. That's what my package is for. In short, you'll need to do is implement basic mechanics and then add my package, which is encapsulated and handles all interactions and effects on its own. To demonstrate it more clearly, I created a simple project. Here's what I implemented without the package: movement of the monster and the player attacks, animations and hit detection of the monster attacks. Here's what I implemented with combat graph: main stats for both entities, health, mana, and others, attack attributes for both entities, monster auto attacks, constant mana regeneration for the monster, monster heals when it lands a critical hit, player regenerates mana upon dealing damage, player heals when dodging damage, player's critical hit chance increase after taking damage. Why did I decide to create this package in the first place? It all started when I was thinking through a game concept involving blessings. Gradually, I started building a combat system to fit that concept. Once it was ready, I checked to see if there was anything similar on the asset store, and I didn't find anything. Maybe I searched thoroughly, but I genuinely tried. Sure, there were packages with basic walk-up and hit systems and big paid RPG frameworks, but nothing like combat graph. So I see three possibilities. First, I'm genius and make something unique. Second, solutions like this aren't useful to the general public, so they sink and aren't found on the first pages. Third, similar systems that were made just weren't of good quality and or functionality, so they didn't gain popularity. Well, let's find out together which one it is. For now, here is a quick intro, a kind of quick start tutorial. The core of the package is the combat graph, which describes a combat entity. Inside the combat graph are the main and additional stats of the character. It's created in a project folder. Technically, it's a scriptable object. A combat entity, it's a component attached to a game object, and it's what you'll be interacting with. Let's start by opening the combat graph. Here's the node with basic stats. It includes standard values like health, mana, crits, and others. It's mostly straightforward and not super exciting. The key part lies in the additional nodes. First, buffs. There are enhancements to base stats or passive effects. Each buff has its own interface. For example, the healing on action buff lets you set the event that triggered it, how much HP is healed, and the chance of its triggering. I've already added a decent number of buffs, but it may still be a bit limited for a full-blown RPG, only for level 1. So I plan to add more. Be sure to leave comments about what you'd like to see. Second, attacks. I've made two types, with and without mana, and also an option for non-damaging attacks, for summoning on similar effects. Each attack has a unique name, so you can call it directly from scripts. Why are attacks needed in a package like this? Because they're integrated with combat events. Many effects are tied to them. Plus, you can use them to implement an auto-attack feature for AI enemies or auto-battle. Right now, only buff and attack modes are available, but if people like the package, I hope to add skills, debuffs, vulnerabilities, and marker-based effects. We can create some sort of elemental damage system with that. Now onto the script. As you might expect, just adding a combat entity to a game object isn't enough, but for starters, you only need to know two functions: attack and take damage. Use attack right before the attack animation and take damage after the attack lands on the target. It's all very simple, but you can get more advanced. I've mentioned the auto-attack system a few times, so try it out. Use the start auto-attack function. You pass it a method where you define the animations and calculate hits for each attack by name. Then for each damaged enemy, call take damage. This method gets called whenever an attack becomes available. If you want to disable certain attacks, for instance a melee attack, when the enemy is too far, or during a phased chance, use prohibit attacks and allow attacks. To upgrade the hero over time, use add new buff. This dynamically adds new buffs, not ones that defined by default. For example, the player might pick from blessings at the start of combat. The combat entity API also has a bunch of functions to pass combat data to the UI for floating numbers, letters for HP or mana, or notifying that an entity was killed. You can read about all this in the docs or check the demo project. Finally, a small request. If you think this library might be useful in your current and future projects, please let me know which updates would be the most important for you. Could be more buffs like increased dodge, higher chance to apply effects and others, or expanded attack system like combo attacks, percent-based damage, attacks with extra effects, or debuff system like an attack gets debuffed after hitting, the debuffs are mirror buffs, or marker system like some attacks can be applied marks that enhance damage or add some debuffs on target, or skills, some cooldown based abilities like healing or damage boosts that have limited duration, or an additional version of combat graph tailored for turn-based games. There are a lot of possibilities, and if there is interest, I'll gradually add them. That's it from me. Thanks and goodbye.